Nadine was feeling uneasy. Harold had disappeared into that quiet, distant place of his for the last few hours. The same place, she surmised, where he went to write in that ledger she'd read, then replaced under the loose hearthstone in the living room. The insane place. You know, Nadine, maybe you should take a walk. Why, Harold? Frankly, ma chère, because I don't know how old this dynamite is. And old dynamite sweats. And what it sweats is pure nitroglycerin. So there's a chance this little science project could blow us all the way to Oz. Well, you don't have to sound so snotty about it. Suddenly, Nadine found herself wishing that the dynamite would blow up and put an end to them both. A merciful death. Because she'd come to realize it wasn't just Harold who was Flag's instrument of destruction. She was one too. She, who had once defined the single unforgivable sin in the post-plague world as murder. There. It's done. Ready for delivery. She'd wished she'd kissed Joe one last time. Kissed him goodbye. Will it work? Would you like to try it and find out? Nadine couldn't bring herself to say the word bomb, but that's what Harold had made. Using a book from the Boulder Public Library. 65 National Science Fair prize winners. 8 sticks of dynamite wired to a walkie-talkie pilfered from a Radio Shack. When the moment was right, he would detonate it with the walkie's twin on. September 2nd was the date. According to Chad Norris, that's when the next Free Zone Committee meeting was happening. Well, do you? Harold's tone was sarcastic, but Nadine welcomed it. That means he was back from that godforsaken place. His talk was just talk again, and she could handle him. Or we could go upstairs and play for a bit, like we did last night. Yeah, okay. Good idea. September 2nd. Harold could hardly wait. A week ago, when Nadine moved in with Harold, thoughtful Leo reverted back to feral Joe. Since then, the boy had been inching back towards Leo, but he wasn't there yet, so Larry was concerned. Hey, kiddo, you want to go fishing? Leo, Joe, had been bouncing that ping pong ball for the last week. No fish. The boy's eyes were dark and far away, the way they'd been that time in front of Harold's house. When, it seemed to Larry, Leo had been in a trance and somehow known secret things. Leo? How's Nadine, Mom? She calls me Joe. I'm Joe to her. It's bad now. Bad with them both. Cold chill wove up Larry's back. Talking to Leo when he was like this was like watching a graveyard tomb swing open and seeing a hand emerge. Both? Nadine and Harold? He's got them fooled. They think he wants them. They're going to go west. Oh, Jesus. Talk to Franny. What? About Nadine? No. It's all written down. You know. Franny knows. Listen, I'll talk to the committee. No, not the committee. Committee is the old way, and he laughs at the committee because the old ways are his ways. You know. Franny knows. If you talk together. Leo missed the ping pong ball. The spell, trance, whatever, broke. I dropped my ball. Larry's mouth was dry. His heart was thudding. Franny, he thought. An hour before dark, the crickets were chirping, lovers were walking through the gathering gloom, and Larry and Franny were meeting. On Leo's advice, as Larry explained it. Fran told Larry about Harold and his crush on her and how she believed he'd read her diary. Then it was his turn. That night we met, remember I told you I'd been up in the barn you and Harold marked in Maine, and that he had carved his initials on a beam in the loft? Yes. It wasn't just his initials. It was yours, too. And a heart. The kind of thing a lovesick boy would do. What a mess. I know everyone likes Harold now, you and Stu included, but I'm afraid he bears Stu a grudge, Larry. Maybe the whole committee. Larry? What is it? What are you thinking? It makes such beautiful sense. Harold reads your diary and decides to keep his own. What are you talking about? When I went to visit Harold, he went downstairs to get a corkscrew or something, and I found a ledger underneath the loose stone on the hearth. I didn't read it, but I bet it was... Yes! The day I snuck in. The day Nadine Cross almost caught me. I sat on that hearth. I remember that loose stone. As if something had been leading us both by the nose. Lord, it's like we're living in a fairy tale. First an old woman who's the voice of God, now a little boy who's some kind of telepath. At the time, I thought the ledger could have belonged to the original owner of the house, full of his dirty secrets. But surely Harold would have found it. And why would he have kept someone else's dirty secrets hidden? Unless they were Harold's secrets, written in Harold's journal. The ledger could be long gone, Granny. Or it might be nothing but a list of things to do, perfectly innocent. Or it could have Harold's master plan, to hurt Stu, to take over the committee. Well, I think we should go look and see. They would investigate the next day, they decided, while Harold was out with the burial committee and Nadine was helping at the power station. Until they knew something definitively, they wouldn't tell anyone about their suspicions. Franny felt lighter at heart than she had in weeks. The ledger might prove all her fears groundless, and if it didn't, let the committee decide what to do. They would discuss it at the next meeting on September 2nd. And what are you smiling about? I'll tell you tomorrow night. I'll tell you everything that's been on my mind. Until then, no questions, okay? In attendance, Stu Redman, Nick Andros, Ralph Bretner, Glenn Bateman, and engineer Brad Kitchener. Hail Mary, full of grace, help me win this stock car race, Brad prayed as he yanked two switches down hard. In the cavernous hall below them, two generators serving North Boulder began to whine. Brad said, "Something goes wrong, I'd rather blow 2 generators than 52. The assembled workers broke out into spontaneous applause. Above them, the fluorescent lights had begun to glow. Nick elbowed Stu. For him, the feeling was the exact opposite of the dread he had known when the lights went out in Shoyo. Not one of entombment now, but of resurrection. And all over North Boulder, TV sets went on with blares of snow. In a house on Spruce, a blender whirred to life, mixing a long congealed cheese and egg mixture. In a garage on Maple, a power saw buzzed sawdust from its guts. Stove burners began to glow. Marvin Gaye began to sing from the loudspeakers of an old record shop called the Wax Museum. The words seemed like a dream of the past come to life. At the power station, one of the generators started to whine at a higher and more desperate note. It began to smoke, too. Too high! The bastard's crossing over! It's overloading! Get some foam onto that! Hustle! I'm sorry it turned out that way, Brad. Sorry? What for? The one generator just overloaded. We're in business. We just got to go around Boulder and turn off everything. We forgot is all. We forgot. People got sick. They died. But they didn't turn off their electrical appliances before they did. We probably got appliances on all over Boulder, and that's a hell of a power drain. As a matter of fact, we better get some folks over to North Boulder fast and make sure it's not burning down. What most people in the zone remembered about the 1st of September was that it was the day the power came back on, if only for 30 seconds or so. Not Franny and Larry, though. They remembered it as the day they broke into Harold's house, and everything changed. There's a good chance he's moved the ledger. Anyway. And Harold had. But Nadine had replaced it. Well, we gonna admire it or read it? You, Larry, I don't even want to touch it. They read, "To follow one star is to concede to the power of some greater force. Your God, your devil, owns the keys to the lighthouse, but to each of us, he has given the responsibility of navigation." Harold Lauder. It's Harold's way of saying following is as honorable as leading, I guess. But as a motto, it's not going to replace waste not, want not. Whew. Look at this entry, Franny. And she did. They did. It is said that the two great human sins are pride and hate. Are they? I elect to think of them as the two great virtues. To give away pride and hate is to say you will change for the good of the world. To vent them is more noble. That is to say, the world must change for the good of you. I am on a great adventure. Harold Emery Lauder. Pride plus hate, sins or virtue. That's the work of a profoundly disturbed mind. Yeah, it's the kind of thinking that got us into this mess to begin with. How does this Dear Diary start, anyway? They flipped to the book's front. They saw. Oh. Fran felt weak, faint. So this is how the matter of the diaries ended. It was as if she had known it from the moment she saw Harold's big, smudged thumbprint. Fran, we have to take this in short to stew. I don't know if Leo's right about them being on the dark man's side, but at the very least, Harold is dangerously disturbed. Franny? You okay? Larry's voice from far away. Yes. First sentence in Harold's ledger. My great pleasure is this delightful post-apocalypse summer will be to kill Mr. Stuart Redmond. And just maybe, I will kill her, too. Ralph? Ralph Bretner? You home? Yoo-hoo! Anybody home? She had a story ready in case someone was home, but didn't need it. Nadine made her way into the living room. Harold had told her they would probably meet in the living room, and that, ideally, she should plant their surprise in one of the living room's closets. If I put it in the closet, will it still work? Won't the extra wall muffle the blast? Nadine, this device will take out the house and most of the surrounding hillside. The extra wall will become shrapnel. A closet will be fine. I trust your judgment. She put the box on the floor amongst the boots and scarves and covered it over again. She paused. You're not going to leave that bomb there, are you? In a world where so many have died, the one great sin is to take a human life. Then she was on her Vespa, speeding away, doing her best to ignore the doubts, to not go mad. At the corner of Baseline and Broadway, she paused, thinking she would go back to Ralph's and clip the wires that ran between the blasting caps and the walkie-talkie, which is when the blackness creeped over her vision, like a dark curtain, slowly drawn, flipping and flapping in a mild breeze, a foretaste of the horrors to come. She became lost in the steady blackout. She became blind. She became deaf. She was losing the sense of touch. The thinking part of her, the Nadine ego, was drifting in a warm, black cocoon, like seawater or amniotic fluid. Then she felt him creep into her. Penetration. Entropy. It was like nothing she had felt before. Later, metaphors to describe it occurred to her, but she rejected them. You're swimming, and suddenly, in the midst of warm water, you're treading water in a pocket of deep, numbing cold. You've been given Novocaine and the dentist pulls a tooth, painlessly. You can slip your tongue into the hole where part of you was living a second ago. You stare at your face in the mirror for a long, long time. You watch as your face changes and you become a stranger to yourself, a doppelganger. It was really none of those things, but there was a trace of all of them. The dark man entered her, and he was cold. When Nadine opened her eyes, awoke, her first thought was she was in hell. And hell was white, 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 bleached out nothingness. The dark man had been in her and brought her where? It took her a moment to collect herself and realize. A drive-in movie theater with a huge blank white screen. The darkness had come over her at Baseline and Broadway, and now she was almost over the town line. In Longmont, wasn't it? Far back in her mind there was a taste of him, still, like cold slime on a floor. Why am I here? It was only talking aloud. She expected no answer, but got one.
Nadine.
And it was his voice, pumping through the dead speakers.
Nadine, Nadine. Oh, how I love to love Nadine. My pet. My pretty.
Stop it! You've gone insane, she comforted herself. The strain of waiting, Harold's games, they've driven you over the edge, dear, and maybe that's for the best. But she hadn't gone crazy. She knew. This was far, far worse than being crazy.
Nadine, they know you've been stupid. God may love stupidity, but I do not.
Stupid, she thought. Stupid means death.
They know everything except the shoebox, except the dynamite. Go to Sunrise Amphitheater. Stay there until tomorrow night, until they meet. And then you and Harold may come. Come to me.
But won't the Sunrise Amphitheater be too far for the signal? The walkie-talkie? No answer, and she needed to get out. They'd been stupid, and he was giving them a second chance, and she needed to get out of this awful place. She thought she was going to escape without hearing that awful, awful voice again. She thought she was going to make it. But then behind her, she heard monstrous laughter and...
Do well, Nadine. Do well, my fancy, my dear one.
She went by their house, then intercepted Harold around the corner from the bus station as he walked home from the corpse crew. Harold! They know! We've got to! Nadine? Your hair. Nadine, oh my God, your hair! What are you talking about? Aren't you listening to me? Harold turned her to face the window. She stared at her reflection for a long time, then... They went up to your house and found your book. They took it away. What? Who did that? I don't know all of it, and it doesn't matter. Fran Goldsmith, maybe Bateman or Underwood? I don't know. But they'll come for you, Harold. How do you know? Nadine, how do you know? He told me. Flag? He told you? He spoke to you? And that's what did that to your hair? Oh, how I love to love Nadine. We have to leave town, Harold. We'll hide until after dark. Then we'll pick up what camping gear we need on the way out. We even go west? Not yet. Not until tomorrow night. Maybe I don't want to anymore. He was looking at her hair. She knew. She put his hand on it. It's too late, Harold. It's too late to stop now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And make sure you're subscribed and click the bell to make sure to keep up with uploads. And check out the channel memberships if you'd like to support the channel that way. And leave us a comment. We like hearing from you and talking to you. And definitely check out our new Patreon if you'd like to try and support that way instead. A huge shout out to my cast and crew and longtime supporters for this one. I had a lot of fun putting this all together, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Be sure to check out the description to see ways you can support them and the channel. Again, thank you. Till the next one.